Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans, the number one. That's at David G. Evans, numeral one. We're so glad you joined us today. We ask you to like and subscribe to us, share with as many people as possible so they can benefit from the collective spiritual and intellectual intelligence of our callers and our listeners as we approach those items, those subjects, those events, those cultural norms or abnorms as you may see them, all of the things that are going on in the world around us from a kingdom, a biblical perspective. We would love to hear from you today. Our call-in numbers are toll free, of course. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. You can give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. We love talking to first-time callers, but our historic callers are also very loved by us. So we're looking forward to hearing from you also. One of the callers you've heard about for a long time, named Ava, she indeed did come visit the church on Mother's Day, and we had a great time, a reunion in our guest reception after service, and she's just a special individual to us. She's been one of the on-point callers almost from the beginning, I believe. Great family, great woman of God. We're just glad to see her. What's up, Pastor Nick? How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing?
All right. I know you got some things on your event, political, cultural mind today, but I want to raise something. So former President Trump does a rally in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He goes down to what appears to be a people of color neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't take a community worker, come up on stage with him, doesn't ask politician who's doing good things in the community come on stage. He pulls two people up that have been accused, indicted, whatever, of multiple acts of violence and criminality.
Mm-hmm. Same thing in Wildwood.
Same thing in Wildwood.
When he came to Wildwood, yeah.
Okay, so I understand the traditional side of criticizing an event like that and the motivation for it.
Mm.
My angst today is why that's okay with our community. We've given the impression that this stuff is okay. So when you're thinking of people to bring to us, you bring us rap artists, and what is it about us? Well, we've given this impression.
A few things.
Okay.
I think because culture.
Yes.
Let me back up real quick. It's funny how when it comes to people of color, all of a sudden one group represents everybody.
It's always been that way.
Yeah. Everybody else is a monolith.
Yep.
But us, we're the only ones that,
and we do it.
and we do that. But also, culture and media does that too, to feed into it,
Yeah.
and then we feed into it also.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture
Yeah.
of both.
We don't show enough disapproval for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are a big section of people that find this absolutely repulsive.
I find it just so offensive. It's amazing.
Absolutely repulsive.
Yeah.
And then there's a certain demographic. It always goes back to that minority voice seems to have a louder voice than, because they're put on display. It sells tickets. It brings media. But you're starting to see more people now this time. See these people come out like Lawrence Taylor and all these people that are supporting Trump and all that. People are like, come on,
Come on.
what are you doing? But that's what he did the first time.
I know.
Brought all the celebrities, hoping that would bring people over.
Well, because we've given the impression over time that our culture responds to that in spite of what the life on it represents.
Yeah.
You know, it's like play some music, have us dancing around.
Yeah.
This is the guy for us.
Yeah. It's like a commercial.
Yeah.
When it's to us, it's music, hip hop, just that kind of.
I was offended.
Everybody else
I was offended. I saw I think an Old Navy, and they sell clothing. Okay, so show me the clothing.
Yeah.
But the commercial was people dancing around that were past their dancing days. They weren't fluid anymore. Yeah. You know, so I'm watching this thing. I'm like, what is this commercial about? Dancing around a pool?
Yeah.
Or is it about the clothing that they sell? And the last minute it was like Old Navy. And I'm like, that's not everything. Computers, food. If it's not some kind of rap background music or some kind of funky beat, we don't buy it.
If it's not a minstrel show.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't.
Yes.
Yeah. And
yes.
And you know, like I said, there's a huge segment of people that find it absolutely repulsive.
Okay, but we're quiet.
Well, they talk. It's just you don't get the same platform.
Yeah. So
that
we're rendered quiet.
Yeah. So you're talking, but
not that many people.
They're not going to show. Like for instance, if something happens on the news, why they always got to get the one guy in the neighborhood that can't talk, sounds crazy.
Because they think that represents us.
Yeah. Instead of getting the intellectual one, they want that.
But we also give the impression that being nonverbal and inarticulate is acceptable to us because in our context, we've seen articulate people of color criticized because the articulation didn't make them black enough, which is highly offensive to me.
Absolutely. And one of the good things that I'm seeing is that the narrative with this new generation is starting to change more, probably because you're seeing more diversity from the beginning of their lives.
Okay.
You're seeing more African-American kids and others more mixed in with, in predominant schools, put it that way. It's not as segregated as it was.
There's a precariousness to that, though.
Yeah.
Because that I've seen in the 25s to 35 range, when they think of things that could be wrong, race is not in nearly the position it is.
That's the downside of
it. Yeah, they're not considering. They're actually saying to themselves, "I'm no different than this person."
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, you're a young guy. You go to a conference. You walk in the room. There's a clear difference.
Yes.
Because you attend a meeting where 98% of the guys are Caucasian. All right, so you walk in the room and there is a subtle polarization as soon as you walk in because you're recognizable, you're polarized in the room merely because of the color of your skin. And then other people start to make calculations. Why are you here? Are you qualified to be here? What kind of, and in our context, years ago they actually sent somebody up to see what the deal was.
What it was,
yeah. Yeah, if you were, this guy must be lying. Let's go check it out.
Yeah. I know. But that's the thing. That's one of the things I don't like about how the media presents us and how we also present ourselves and feed into those narratives too. It's like you want it both ways and you can't have it. I'm trying to tell this generation, I don't care what you think. It may not be unfair. It may be unfair, excuse me. But you have to get over the fact that you have to do more, be better, stop sulking over it, man up, woman up, and just get it done. Not cower behind it because I want to be treated. Look.
Not go get high because things ain't fair.
Yeah. You got to overcome it.
Yeah. I mean, what do? Do you sit down in the corner and just wait till somebody gives you a handout, or do you at least make the effort?
Right.
To position yourself for the advantages that are out here.
Yeah. But back to what you were saying at the beginning. I'm sorry. We got to.
No.
But it fit in.
We're on the subject.
Yeah. You're seeing people say things like, well, Trump supported the black community because he gave that stimulus thing during the was that $1,200 or something like that. And I'm like, first off, that was Congress who did that. He put his name on the check.
He put his name on it, but it wasn't him.
It wasn't him. And if $1,200 buys your vote, now good. $1,200, I'm not acting like that's a little bit of money to majority of people. But $1,200 in comparison to everything else?
But here's the thing. So gave him the $1,200, and there are most people that never had to pay the IRS at the end of the year ended up having to pay thousands of dollars to the IRS.
You had to get that money back.
So he didn't get. They just circulated the money.
Yeah.
But the tax advantage. Yeah, I'm gonna give you middle class and poor people this $1,200. But I'm giving the rich guys so much money. I'm going to have to raise your taxes to keep the money coming into the government.
Yep.
And so we went out and bought I'm talking about we collectively, a brand new TV.
Right.
And then you come back and I got to go to the bank, get a loan to pay the $2,000, $3,000 in taxes that I owe.
Yep.
It was just, but we don't see that stuff.
No. And the fact that you're right. The government gives us money. They find a way to make us pay it back.
Always.
They give the rich people money. They don't have to. There's not
they don't have
that.
to pay it back.
I still say it. One of the greatest narratives they created in the past couple of years was calling for a season. It turned out, of course, to be frivolous as always. Calling the wealthy people job creators. Remember, people bought into that.
Yeah.
We got to give them tax breaks because if you give them breaks, they're going to hire more people.
They took that money home.
Yep.
And then they laid folk off.
Yep.
Because what they saw was an opportunity to make some large profits. So yeah, you're going to give me this money, but we need to make more. So we're closing all these businesses, laying all these people off.
Yep. Yeah.
And the unemployed ignored the unemployed. It's amazing.
And you saw the regular people. We need to vote for these policies because if we give them more tax breaks and more money, they'll hire us. They'll give us better, health care and
still they
nothing.
Didn't do a thing.
Didn't do a thing.
What gets me is that you've got health care. You want an administration that says we're going to take it away.
Yeah.
But they don't have an alternative. So you can have 30 million people without health care. And they're not going to get it until they have to go to the hospital. And it's not going to say, wait a minute, I'm not covered.
Yep. But, you're in all of this,
Yeah.
you're right, you're seeing one of the things that scares me about this next coming election is the amount of people that are not going to vote.
That's stupid.
And the black men. And I had some people explain to me the black men thought of voting for Trump.
Okay.
It's all about the money, position.
But they don't have any.
I know. I know.
The heck you care about the stock market? You got any, do you have any money invested in the stock market? No.
And even if you do, it's not even really going to.
We ain't talking about penny stocks.
Right.
We're not talking about they taking 3 cents off your pay every week. We're talking people that make money every week.
Yeah.
Come on, man. The stock market. What about it? What about it? How much stock do you have?
Right.
You know exactly how many shares of IBM do you have?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You got some GM stock?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
2 shares.
Get
out of Dodge.
That ain't doing nothing. That ain't doing a
Get out
thing.
of Dodge, man. You got to have that thing.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't want to rant, but we're on the topic of
We're ranting.
black people. Because even with, I believe in, you can speak against something that you see as an injustice in the world.
Absolutely.
But the amount of, in our context, black preachers who are coming against the Biden administration over what's going on in Israel and Palestine and what they're doing in these colleges and stuff like that, I'm okay with you saying, look, there's atrocities in the world. We have to be able to fight against these things. But to encourage people not to vote because you don't like either candidate and you're a leader is irresponsible.
It's stupid. It should be criminal.
Yeah.
Because the deal is, they're telling you to give up something or not vote for something. And then they're going to go silent for a couple of years when what they urge you to vote for slaps them in the face over and over again.
Yep.
I was going to wait till tomorrow. But the reason God gave us a mind was so we could manage something called a thought process. The Bible is clear that as we think, we become. As a man thinks, so is he. So identity is realized and visualized and actualized by how we think. My issue is a lot of people don't get involved in a thought process.
Yeah.
Now, why can't I just react? Why can't I just, do what I feel? Why do I have to think? And some people say, I don't want to think, I just want to do what I want to do, impulse driven.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thought process also develops emotional processes.
Okay. Yep.
The thought process, and God was amazing when he did this, is designed as a process that bad thoughts that would produce negative emotions and negative actions, those thoughts get a chance to die in a thought process. So the good ones are left alive.
Yeah.
But when I don't think, I give the bad thoughts an opportunity to present themselves through how I feel and what I do. So the thought process allows if you think things through, the bad thoughts will die, so the bad emotions don't become, and the bad actions won't ensue.
Process your feelings.
That's right.
Process your thoughts.
Process your thoughts. The bad ones will die.
Yeah. We all have them. It's just working through them.
We don't, but we stop at what we want to. We stop at a thought that will justify, confirm, or hurt, or prejudice, or whatever that is. But if we think it through, that bad thing it'll just die away, and you can now be represented for something other than don't judge me.
Yeah, don't judge me. Yeah. Because you're right, and that's this generation. They love don't judge me, but they are the most judgmental generation
I've ever seen. Judgmental I've ever seen.
Woo,
You're not dressed right. You're not talking right. You're not.
Yeah. People always had opinions, but one of the worst. I still think social media it's great because it gives the common person a voice to be able to speak up in good things. But it's terrible because it gives the common person the ability to speak up. It becomes its own echo chamber.
Yeah.
And people assume because if there's billions of people on social media, if 5,000 of us are talking about the same thing, that doesn't represent the collective whole.
No. Like a poll.
Yeah.
How can now? Maybe I don't understand polls. Perhaps, my attitude about them for the last 50, 60 years has been incorrect. How does 1,700 people represent 300 million? Right. 1,700.
Yeah. That's especially and you say they're random. Come on.
1,700.
Yeah. No.
Out of 300 million people.
Yeah.
And here's what gets me. When I see a poll, I never get called.
Yeah. Yep.
So how is this poll supposed to represent what I'm saying? And usually the conclusion, I'd say 50% of the time, is not what I think. So is that what they're thinking? Right. So 50% of people, we know the poll's invalid, but we make money doing these polls.
Because people believe them.
Absolutely ridiculous. We've got Scott from Vineland. We've got Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Let's go to Scott first. Morning, Scott. How you doing? Welcome to On Point.
Bishop Evans, Pastor Nick, how you guys doing?
Hey, man. You surprised you're talking to us?
No, I'm just messing with you. Bishop, I want to say you did an amazing job at Nazareth. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but I watched it.
Yeah.
The Lord just used you in a mighty way, and
thank you.
Of course, when you cut that step, I said, boy. yes, but He used you in a mighty way, and I like how you said women will praise the Lord and can and will, but you open up some eyes. Man, we have to basically we have to do a better job of praise Him, because we all know women will and can definitely praise the Lord, and He used you in a mighty way, and I want to thank you for that sermon.
Thank you, man.
I was
looking for you.
I'm
glad you called this morning, because I was going to call you and have some words for you.
Help, Pastor Nick. But,
look, I was looking for you too. What you talking about? I was wondering if you was there.
But thank you. Me and I, we listened to a lot of your past sermons, leverage, and we listen to spiritual stuff every day. You have to do that before you go to the outside world. And thank you for all those many sermons. And I love you, man. And
appreciate you, man.
Thank God for you.
Appreciate you.
Real quick with Mr. Trump. I heard some alarm announcements. So it was smoke and mirrors. They said Mr. Biden's losing a lot of African American votes. How is that possible? Are they just saying that to be saying it.
Well, it's called the power of suggestion. If I tell you that you're losing something and all you have to refer to is what I'm telling you, and I say it enough times, you're expected to believe what I'm telling you. So they understand the American voter, and they understand that a lot of African Americans have been dissatisfied for 1,000 years. So we are fed by negativity. I've got people that I love in my life that are absolutely live on negativity. The only time they can give you a passionate opinion is if it's a negative about somebody else. So we are sometimes, a lot of us are prone to be attracted to the negative side of things, and we don't need facts because it attaches itself to a feeling that we have, an internal angst that we carry all the time. So they don't have to say much to us, and that's offensive to me. That we give the impression we're so shallow that all you have to do is throw a song at us and that'll persuade us.
Okay. Yep. Okay, because I was like, how is that possible? But
they understand who they're talking to. You know, and you have black men that refuse now to believe this unbelievable deniability that there was never any slavery, that there's no discrimination, that you're viewed and perceived like everyone else is. It's just a practical lie every day.
And then because I had to correct a young brother a couple days ago. He was like, "Man, we don't own nothing." I said, "My man, all I'm going to say to you, look at Black Wall Street, look it up, learn your history, and then when I see you next time, see what you have to say about that." I would say in a snippy way, but a lot of people don't know about Black Wall Street and how it was burnt down. We had stuff.
Well, the other thing is that we buying bling instead of bricks. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
What you need a Bentley in the project for?
That makes, as you would say, Bishop, that makes no sense at all.
It's just, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But guys, love you and enjoy talking to you guys.
All right, man.
Bishop, thank you for that service.
See you soon now. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
What Scott was referring to, you all, we were at the Camden Citywide Revival on Thursday night, and if you have an opportunity, I believe it's up on our site, I think.
Yeah, we shared it on Bethany site.
Yeah, it's on Bethany site. It's also on Nazarene site. So at BBC of NJ, you can check it out Friday night. Looking forward to tomorrow, too. Let's go to Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Tom.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
How you, man?
Pretty good. You guys were talking about thought process.
Yes, sir.
And, that's hard. That's hard work.
Yeah, that's why people are so impulse-driven.
Yep.
And it also takes something called self-examination.
Oh,
I've been there. I've gotten better at it.
We've all been there. I mean, everyone I know, at least one time in their life, has asked themselves, I don't know what I was thinking at the time. That's a testimony that everyone can say.
Yep.
Whether it was a job, a person, opportunity, something we did or said, what was I thinking, Well, the fact is, there probably was no thought, and that's why you're having a problem. Because the thought has to be a process. It can't be an impulse.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
That's in a mouthful. Hey, Bishop, now I have a question for you. Justice Alito.
Yo.
You know what he did, right?
Yeah, man.
For people who don't know, he flew our flag
Unbelievable.
upside down in his front yard. Now, the other thing is, at his beach home, he's been flying some kind of funny flag, with rabbit flag, I don't know, some other kind of flag. And this guy is supposed to be non-partial. I just don't get it.
Tom, I see this, and I am. I've only been alive 70-some years, but I'm not sure I've ever seen a Supreme Court like this in my lifetime.
this open about what they're.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm just. Alito is a disgrace.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the fishing trips with the billionaires. You got the flags upside down. I mean, what else does he have to say?
Didn't he try to blame his wife too, or something like that?
Here's what's weak for
He
me.
did blame her.
Here's what's weak for me. It's your house,
Right. Yeah.
and you're gonna blame somebody else in your family.
Right. Yeah.
And watch this, and that alleviates all your responsibility.
responsibility.
Come on, man.
No. Yeah.
Come on, be a man about it.
I know. And throw your wife on.
I mean, you're already out there. Oh yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
You know, got your fishing trips with the big fish and everything, and come on, man.
Yeah, I know. Disgraceful.
Yeah, he threw her under the bus.
And get this, because Thomas is a Supreme Court justice, they can't throw him in the woods because they'll have to follow it. But what I want to know, where are the voices of the rest of the judges?
Yep. They got all something going.
And why hasn't Ketanji said more about the obvious corruption? I just want to know why the whole court is silent on this thing.
I'm sure. Well, to me, I'm sure just like Congress, they all have their ways of. They get partisan. Then when it comes to money, they got a collective going
There you
on.
go. There you go.
And both sides do it.
So I need to know, what is the salary of a Supreme Court judge?
I think they
Oh, I know they don't get rich.
No, he's looking it up right now.
make. Well, yeah, they don't get rich through that way.
I'm
I'm going to bet between $200,000 to $300,000.
I'm headed somewhere with this.
That's New Jersey. I need the U.S.
I'm headed somewhere with this.
It's $286,700.
Yeah, I think it was
So
300,000.
280.
Well, that's the chief. The associates are $274,000.
All right.
$12.
10.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got $10 difference. All right, so less than 300. How?
You can't afford those fishing trips. you can't.
You can afford your lifestyle.
You can afford a few things.
You guys are way
You
ahead
can't buy a
of me.
Bentley.
Yeah.
How?
Like what's her name? Kavanaugh.
$300,000 doesn't fund
Yeah.
that lifestyle.
Yep. And who paid all his debts off? So he can
Somebody
get in Congress.
paid them off.
Somebody got in there, and
Come on now.
yeah, it's
So there's some gravy that goes along with the position, which tells me that they're influenced by their donors.
Yep.
Because once you get hooked into that lifestyle, you certainly don't want to stop it.
No.
No, you don't want to stop.
And
It's
how-
nice flying on
It
private
is.
jet.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
believe
it's
it is.
nice.
Yeah.
People buying your mother's home and stuff like that. And you can't do that on $300,000. No. Okay, I'm just.
And how they can. What's the thing on Wall Street where you know something beforehand and you
Oh,
what's it
yeah,
called?
insider trading.
Insider trading.
Oh, yeah.
How
Oh,
they're
wait.
legally allowed to do insider trading.
They are?
No, not not legally, but you get what I'm saying. They found a way to. It's not
Like most
illegal
of the
for them.
politicians.
Yeah.
You know,
Not unless you're Martha
'cause
Stewart, or
very few politicians go into the office as multimillionaires. But most of them, with the exception of those of color,
Yeah.
come out very rich.
now.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's a system in there.
Yeah. And we saw that before the pandemic started. They had a meeting
Absolutely.
about what was going on. They start selling stuff, doing all these things, made all this money. Pandemic hits
Yep. Ahead of time.
ahead of time.
Yes, sir.
No,
think
nobody
there's
went to jail.
Nobody went to jail.
I think there's a statistic out that every senator is a millionaire.
Well, I'm sure they are. But a lot of them weren't when they got elected.
Yep.
Exactly.
And then, of course, the law is such. I don't think you have to send the money back to your campaign donors, do you?
I think they changed something about that now. You don't have to.
But now, according to what's happening in our environment now, if you got a legal problem, you can use it for that. Okay, so, and who says you're going to use all that for that? So when the legal problem's over, and you got, because my man raised $250 million the other night.
Who? Trump did?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Just from the oil guys.
Mm-hmm.
They had the oil guys at a dinner, and I need y'all to be generous. $250 million came. After they unbuttered their wallets, they $250 million.
Crazy.
From the oil
From
guys.
the oil guys, yeah.
So you think he's not going to try to take care of the oil guys?
Oh, yeah, of course he is,
Okay. At the expense?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Try.
They're
Obligated."
going to have to.
Yeah.
Going to raise the gas prices on a regular human being going to work every day. But, we're like, he's so wonderful.
I know. And that American dream, capitalism will not allow everybody to be wealthy.
Absolutely
That
not.
American dream, they're going to help us become wealthy. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
That's not how they get wealthy.
No.
You need folk that'll work for minimal wages in order for profits to be made.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest problem is, though, that we always had a middle class that was large.
I think it's undefined. I think it's undefined now.
Yeah, now it's just...
Exactly.
Who's middle class now? Is it a wage? Is it a lifestyle? Because you have people that are making money that can't afford to live certain places.
Yeah. Because they're calling middle class now anywhere between 52,000 and 155,000. But in this economy, that 52,000 is different than it was.
That 52 grand is like 25 grand now.
Right.
Come on,
And
man.
that so depends on where you live.
And that
You're right,
that 150 is like 75 now.
Yep.
Come on, man.
It's different.
What's that? A million is a new 100,000? That was 5 years ago.
Yep. Yep.
So what's 3 million is the new 100,000?
That's crazy.
Man, come on, man. We think a million is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be to us.
So for us, yeah.
But you got guys losing $1 million every day in the stock market. And it's like tip money.
You're like, whatever.
Come on, man. Tom, what else is going on in Florida? I haven't heard much from your governor.
No, I was listening to him last night to try to keep up with him. He was talking about homeschooling and how he's behind it, so the kids aren't indoctrinated in today's world and control the narrative. And he was so proud that we're the #1 state in the country for homeschooling. Which
Are you?
Yeah, well, that's what he said last night.
How do they measure that?
I don't know.
Another what they call it, poll?
That would have to be. And
So they probably got a qualification in their time. If you read a bedtime story to your kid, you're homeschooling. So that's probably how they inflated the numbers.
Yeah, and he's just he's kind of been laying low recently.
He just raised some money for Trump. He
raised money for Trump.
He had an event. They raised $3 million on Thursday.
That's not going to help him with Trump.
I know.
Trump runs over guys like him.
I know.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley.
Yes, I know. All that. Just
Nikki Haley. Yeah. She from your part of the country, right, Tom?
Yeah. Yeah. She's.
She like South Carolina or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki Haley. The person that said, when I saw this thing on the news, I was like.
I mean, the other day was she flip-flop?
That wasn't a flip-flop, Doc. She jumped off the building.
Yes, she did, yeah.
That flip-flop means you turned over. She jumped off the building, man.
Yep. After all that trash he talked about.
Oh,
Trump.
my God. He's not fit. He's not this. I'm voting for him.
Yep.
McConnell's done the same thing.
They all fall in line.
But they figured something out.
Yeah.
The American public will flip with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And she flipped.
And they don't care.
Yeah. I don't have to get off. I was listening to Chris Rock the other night.
Okay.
And he said something which is funny but so real. He said we need bullies growing up. And the reason is we don't have them anymore, and we finally got one. His name's Trump. and he came in, and he bullied his way, and we didn't know how to stop him.
Amazing.
We don't know how to deal with bullies.
Well, you know, I was saying for years that I thought the party, the Democratic Party that I've been a part of for a long time, had developed into a bunch of punks. Because if I hear one more time Chuck Schumer say, "Shame on you,"
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
shut the heck up.
They don't care about that, man.
And the international community is outraged. Don't nobody care about that.
They don't care.
I think Nancy Pelosi was the last of the real go-getters.
Because she understood it's a Shark Tank in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to talk to you, man.
Hey, take care.
See you, Tom.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Reverend Nicholas Smith is our co-host. I'm Bishop David Evans. We're so glad you all have been calling us today. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about a variety of things. We're going to Danny from Lauderhill, Florida. Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop.
Morning.
Pastor Nick. How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Welcome to On Point again.
Yes. Good show as usual. And I just wanted to say that you all doing a beautiful job. And, we're complimenting some of the things that you all do. I think what the greatest thing that I've seen you all do is how you brought the family back together.
Yeah.
In establishing different positions and how we are to go ahead, follow God and what have you.
Yeah.
And that is great. And that's what I know in my lifetime. That's what I've seen fall apart where we needed help. And I just want to compliment you all for doing that. And then the fact the way you and Pastor Nick and everyone else follows and gets in to what is going on, that is great.
We try to stay relevant. It's something you said, Danny. I'm not sure African Americans know what their culture is anymore.
That's right.
It is so radically different than the secure place that we used to be as a community. Regardless of economic strata, regardless of educational strata, the black community was a secure place
Yes,
for black people.
exactly.
I'm not even sure we know who we are now if I'm looking at all the different shades. And I'm not saying that we have to have the same views, we have to be just alike. I'm not saying that at all. But we shifted from having a difference of belief, but continuity, a strain of continuity and connectivity running through the culture, to now we're almost disjointed.
Yeah. They say assimilation, and when they remove segregation, one of the best things for African Americans and one of the worst things for us too. Because all of a sudden everybody started wanting to assimilate.
Yeah.
And
But then does assimilation have to include abdicating who you know, who you are, and where you came from?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So it was like, now that I can go to the white dressmaker, I'll go there rather than going to the dressmaker in the community that's black.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Looking for that.
Just to say,
Yeah.
I went uptown.
Yeah.
Not that the dress is any better.
Just went uptown.
I went uptown.
Yeah. They say the black dollar circulated, of course, in segregation time, a lot now. It circulates at a very minimal rate.
Well, it leaves the community, and most of it doesn't come back.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at the community and see that.
Yep.
But to me, we're disjointed,
Yeah.
and we need to have a connectivity that allows us to differ in opinion, but stay together culturally.
Yep.
And I think we've developed these silos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm through ranting. Go ahead, Danny.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Bishop and Pastor Nick, is that Monday is Memorial Day. And my mind will not get away from the fact of Roger Fortune. What his family is going through, and they have to, right after all that's gone
The
through.
young man that the Air Force got shot.
Yeah. And the thing about it, you ask a question, what is the governor doing? What does he have to say? He has not said a word about it. The sheriff said he would get back to the public and let everybody know what's going on. I don't know what news you are getting, but I'm in Florida. I haven't heard anything. That's what they're
The
doing.
story kind of died, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. After the funeral, was it last Friday?
Yeah, because Jay did the funeral,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm
the
sure he
way-
was in fine form.
He was.
Was he in fine form?
I saw clips, but he was. Yes.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was in fine form.
He was.
Oh yeah, but he can step into one of those
Yeah, man,
situations
he
like
can.
nobody else
He
can.
can. And speak to it, boy. His cultural
yeah.
mind is
Yeah, man.
But it's so sad how things can happen, and then what you don't want to happen, that's what does happen. They just let it go. They don't say nothing. And then the fact is, the representatives that we were supposed to have, they're not saying anything. They're not forcing the governor who they start these laws pro-gun. You can go gun advocates, what have you. And the gun violence is getting worse and worse.
Well, let me ask you something, Danny. You live down there. Does a politician risk their career protesting against something that the present administration in Florida would be opposed to?
The situation is that I think they have a book on each and every individual,
Yeah.
and they have certain things that they know about that particular individual, how they got there, who they paid to get there, and who they fall in line with.
Okay.
So if you do not fall in line with them, if you don't march to their beat, then we got you. Now, the thing that's happening all over the nation, as far as prosecutors and what have you, we had that happen here in Florida long before they started.
Mm-hmm.
They set the tempo for things, and the prosecutors that in Tampa, I believe, they got rid of her, for frivolous things. You really breaking the law, but we'll make a law that you can't do that. If you look and see what happens, and what have you, they're attacking schools and things like that, different administrators. Here in Florida, in Broward County, where I reside, they got rid of our school board chairman of the school board, the superintendent, and they replaced him with somebody else. And then they had to turn right back around. That guy had quit. Once he collected his money, they have somebody else there. So you watch what goes on. If you don't agree with them, they'll get you.
Okay. That's the only thing that makes sense to me now, because that was public enough. It was a serviceman. Happened to be a serviceman of color. He's in you can carry your gun state. So he had his gun in his hand when he came through the door, which is not illegal in Florida. Is that right there, Danny? And then he gets killed.
Yeah. You don't hear a lot of the pro-gun, pro-military folk really, calling
Nothing.
for people's heads.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So it's quiet down there like crickets, huh, Danny? Hello? Must have lost him.
Yeah.
But it still sounds like the line's still okay. So, another person died after people restrained him?
Yeah. Yeah, they restrained him, left him on the ground, and then somebody had to walk up to him to say, yo, he's not breathing. And they thought it was a joke. And then the police went over and checked on him and then tried to do everything. But
They had
it was
already
too
killed
late.
him?
It was already too late by then. Yeah. It's just a lack of care. That gets me.
Absolutely.
The callousness of, that's a human being still.
We said something on air years ago, Pastor Nick, pre-COVID. I think I brought up the conversation. Anyway, we talked about it. And I said that I thought policemen were afraid, which is why they were overreacting to the things that were going on. We're seeing fear, a shoot-first response out of fear. Now, where did that come from? I think there has been a change in our national respect for authority, something I thought I'd never see. But now, even with our former president, there's a change of respect for our military people. And then we have January 6th. And a lot of the criticism was not law enforcement people got hurt. So something has happened to us that we are not It's like anything in authority, until we need it, is offensive.
Yep.
But only until we need it. And then it's, where are the police?
Right, yeah.
What's the military going to do?
Right, yeah.
I need my dad to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Just.
I know. It's like the book of Judges. Everybody does what's right in their own eyes. And
Yep.
we're seeing why
Yep.
the cyclical consequences just keep coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how. There used to be, I don't know, you can help me with this. Culturally, normally a mistake would educate you.
Yes.
I'm not sure I see that now.
Yeah. It's not self-reflection. There's no, let me learn.
Okay.
But there are people who are just, let's live with the consequences and deal with it when they come. And I'm like, that's not a good way to live.
No.
Would you rather have regrets or consequences? There are some things that you experience the consequences that produces regret. So it's like
It makes no sense.
as something Psyche said on Monday, and I totally agree with her. I said it somewhere else. This generation has more knowledge available than any other generation.
Absolutely.
But have the least amount of wisdom. Something with this satanic thing. I.
Yeah. So, is it possible that with having all this information, instead of seeking wisdom, we're looking for confirmation of what we're thinking and feeling?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I can find somebody that says the same thing I'm saying, it's good because I saw it online.
Yeah, because they build your algorithm around who you follow in your thought process. So you think because everybody on your timeline's talking about it, everybody else is talking about it.
No.
These people they have a completely different experience.
That's like thinking your neighborhood is reflected in the entire world.
Yep.
Your neighborhood is not the world.
Yep. It's not.
Step outside of it and see.
Yeah. That's your viewpoint.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't.
I know.
It's distressing to me. So, had a conversation, and it got heated a little bit, and it was about the whole Israel thing. I don't know any country that could tell us how to fight a war here in the United States. I don't know any. What country do you think there is that could tell the U.S. how to handle conflict on its own soil?
Yep.
So why do we think we can tell other countries? And why do we think that us protesting is going to change what that country does? And then we're offended because we're not telling other people what to do in their own land, in their own time. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And I'm not approving of anything. I'm commenting on it. And the fact of the matter is, I don't get how we as Americans are so arrogant that we think we can tell, watch this, we can tell somebody what to do and they have to do it.
Yep.
And then, watch how crazy Americans are. If the country does not do what we tell it to do, our politicians are responsible for the lack of response.
I know. Well, make them do it. They can't make them do
Make them
anything.
do what?
Then the other thing, too, they're privy to information that we don't know about.
No.
So who knows what's really going on behind the scenes? We don't know.
Let me ask you a question. So, we got a problem with one country invading another one, right? Was Bin Laden in Florida when we went get him?
No.
Or was he home?
He was old.
Okay, so we illegally went into another country, violenced up the place, flew back out,
Yep.
and basically said, y'all better not say nothing.
Yep.
Okay.
And folks cheered about it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So it's okay when we do it. Okay.
Like us having military bases all over the world. If anybody else did that, it'd be a threat.
Be a problem.
It'd be, yeah.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah,
And I'm all for us.
me too.
But
I ain't mad.
But we at the end of the day, we can't dictate how another country fights its wars.
Yeah, we can't.
And I don't like anything that's going on, but I do understand if you throw the punch at me and you hit me, and they say, I just want to talk to you. No, the conversation was started when you threw the punch.
Absolutely. You can't dictate somebody's response.
You said hello when you hit me.
Right.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. So just making sure.
I
I
agree with you.
don't want to be
agree with
crazy. I want to be crazy. You know, but it just bothers me
Yeah.
that as a nation we think we have the right to tell everybody else what to do. And get this, we want to straighten out a housing problem in your country, but we won't straighten out one in our own.
Exactly. I know. No, that's the crazy thing.
We want to feed and adopt folk all over the world. We got hungry people right in the United States. Kids that don't have homes, not getting education. But we solving stuff and I don't have a problem with us solving stuff everywhere else.
Yeah.
It's like our idea about missions. We love doing stuff for people overseas.
Yeah.
But you got people not eating 15 minutes from here.
Yep.
We've got shelters all around here where people need help. So how do we, in a clear conscience, send most of the resource overseas when folk right here at home are having an issue? Okay.
Yeah. It's that American lie. Everybody can pull themselves up.
No.
And the thought is that if you didn't make it in this country, it's because you're lazy, which is totally false.
Yeah, it's false.
Totally false. Like, come on, man.
You have a good number of homeless people
Yeah.
that were successful at one time.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, economy, drugs,
Yeah.
misfortune,
Yeah.
bad investments, whatever you want to call it, they're now on Skid Row.
Yeah. And the way inflation is now, the common, middle class, the common middle class person is strapping up, because why? It's expensive to live now.
Well, it's been expensive to live for the last 30 years, if you ask me.
Yeah, and it's been just going up and up.
Why? Because capitalism demands you increase prices if you want to make more money.
Yeah.
That's not a hard thing to understand.
Yep.
If you're a real capitalist without a conscience, why does medicine cost so much?
Yeah. Profit.
Get this stuff. Who's the young lady that's getting ready to do this concert tour, and the domestic tickets are $1,700 a piece?
That's a couple of them. Meg Thee Stallion? Meg? I know.
No, not Meg, and not Beyonce. The lady goes with the football player.
Oh, Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Those are the cheap tickets, too.
$1,700.
Yeah.
Now, what people are doing? They're flying to Lisbon for the concert because the tickets are only $100 a piece.
Yeah.
So the entire trip to Lisbon for two people is going to cost about $3,000.
Yep.
So they're going to the concerts over there. 17. Now this is what bothers me. Don't talk to me about recession.
Yeah.
If you're working people, going to pay $1,700 for a concert ticket.
Yep.
That if you just waited a day or two, you could watch it on YouTube.
Yep. We say years ago, people buy what they want and beg for what they need.
Absolutely.
And that's the flip side, too. Yeah. It's, you got money for all this that you want, that all of a sudden,
I need bread.
yeah, I know.
We don't have heat. Didn't you just get back from? Didn't you just go see Beyonce and pay $700 for a ticket up in the rafters? When you could have just waited.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if we'll ever go to another Super Bowl in a cold climate.
It was cold.
Now I can think about us. We go
We're
warm,
warm, yeah.
but us going to another cold stadium
It's got to be a dome, yeah.
and suffering for what 2 months after that,
Right.
vocally.
I know.
You know, it was a good experience. We had a good time. We hung out. We were duding all day long and $25 hot chocolates and all
I
that.
know.
But Doc,
It was
career-wise, it was a hindrance for like 2 months, man.
yeah, especially because the way the stadium is shaped.
Man,
It just invites a swirling wind.
vocally, we were handicapped for about 2 months.
Yep.
I'm like, we can't do this again.
Yeah.
No wonder Aretha Franklin didn't like singing outside. It's crazy,
I know,
man.
I
In the
know.
wintertime.
I know.
I'm like, we may get to go to another one, but it's sure gonna be hot.
It's gonna
when
be hot when we go.
It's gonna be hot.
I hope so.
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot, man.
Right.
What you say?
Yeah. But you're right though. A lot of people, they're spending money on frivolous things, non-essential things, but then complaining about.
Shows you how desperate we are for some kind of relief.
Yeah.
But the relief is illogical. Why would I spend $1,700 on a ticket, and I got growing feet in my house?
Yeah. A rent mortgage, people.
Come on, man. You got feet that grow every month. I don't get it. Yeah. Coming up on the end of the program, we're so glad that you all talked to us today. Tomorrow we have another phenomenal day planned for you here at Bethany Church in Lindenwold, New Jersey. Our 8 a.m. virtual service, of course, is always there, but our 11 a.m. service live and in person, you really don't want to miss it. You want to come on down and have a great time with us live in the sanctuary. Unusual worship, unusual spirit of God, unusual move of God. We are in a series on the Holy Ghost, and God is blessing in a very mighty way. We're going to hit another stride tomorrow in this spiritual series as we are going to be talking about the reality of witchcraft as taught in the Bible, notated in the Bible, illustrated in the Bible. We're going to talk about it, what the position of you as a believer and the church is as it relates to it. It's just going to be the beginning of the conversation. We're going to probably be on that for about 2 weeks, but we want you to come on down. We no longer require COVID vaccinations. Masks are optional. So if you still want to wear your mask, like I do, Pastor Nick does, his children, my children, we love you. Come on. You don't have to feel funny about it. Wear your mask. Come on in.
It's Family and Friends Sunday, too.
It's Family and Friends Sunday tomorrow. So we invite you to not only to come yourself, but bring your family, your friends, invite them to come. We want to invite you to our midweek services, our Wednesday services, noon time and 7 p.m. You do not want to miss those. Come to either one. A lot of our seniors come to the noonday. They don't like driving at night, that kind of thing. So you can come on out and be with us at 12 noon on Wednesday or 7 p.m., our traditional night of worship and word. If you're interested in getting some news updates from us, keeping up with us, we ask you to text BBC News to 28950. That's BBC News to 28950. That's how you text it. If you're interested in devotional messages, we like to send things out on a daily basis that encourage you in the spirit. That's BBC Elevate to 28950. If you need us to pray with you, we'd love to do that. Email your requests to social@go2bethany.com. And of course, we want you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. And also subscribe to our podcast platforms, DGEMS, David G. Evans Ministries, DGEMS, and On Point. Well, anything else today, Pastor Nick?
No, I think that's all.
Family and friends tomorrow. We're looking forward to seeing you. We're going to have a great time. Thank you for coming out to the Camden Citywide Revival. If you didn't get a chance to go, you can get it on our site. I believe you'll enjoy the word. As always, for Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on Point.